No, I just wanted to say that in the version of an anecdote about Lenin, which I remember from my kind of childhood in Russia, it's even stronger, which I think maybe supports your point. Yeah. So Lenin says, okay, you tell mistress you go to a wife, you tell wife you go to a mistress, and what you actually do, you go to the library and learn and study.
It's this. Right. You see, but I think, I totally accept, because what I like is how to put it, when you find the same matrix of the joke, but there can be, for example, this will be very vulgar, but for example, I will prove you how much more vulgar we Slovenes are. We Slovenes have the same joke as the Jews, the structure. A kind of an incestuous joke on, the son asks his mother, what is Oedipus complex, mommy, no? I think if I remember it correctly, the Jewish joke goes like, mother says some of this wordplays, Oedipus, it doesn't matter, just that you love me, no, or something like that, no? We Slovenes have, it's not even funny, an incredibly, sorry, an incredibly more vulgar version. It's brutal. It's, son asks the mother, mommy, what is Oedipus complex? You know what the mother answers? Shut up and go on fucking and so on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like when nothing, that's the big lesson of my real socialism, like, experience. You can always go a little bit further, make it more, which is why, I'm sorry we don't have time to go into this, because, here at this level, I changed my position a little bit. For a long time, I tended to dismiss this dimension of obscene joke as not only not subversive, but as how should I put it, the ultimate support of power. What always fascinated me is how the discourse of power not only tolerated, but needed some kind of obscene supplement. We can go this through all possible levels. For example, military community. Officially it's discipline, but every military community has its own obscene, sexualized, usually rituals or whatever. And far from, this is not a kind of a return of the repressed in the sense of it undermines power. No, it's really the ultimate support. It sustains power, no? But I think that there also is a way to mobilize this obscene dimension in a more emancipatory way, like my own experience, ex-Yugoslavia. If there was no racism, if things functioned more or less till early 80s, I claim quite seriously that one of the one of important ingredients were dirty racist jokes. I almost wanted, it's okay, you risk a lot, to write an article like a plea for more racist jokes and so on. I claim that, of course, they are a rule racist, but there are situations where racist jokes can function not as a means of racist dismissal of the other, but on the opposite. It means of true contact. Like, I exchange an obscenity with you, which means it's not just this cold, refined, pseudo-tolerant racism. Oh, I like your culture, your food. Oh, I don't care about your culture. I want to hear your dirty joke. You know what I mean? Like, as a true solidarity. And this is how it functions in ex-Yugoslavia, how it functioned. It was incredible how each nation was identified by a certain racist cliché. But instead of fighting it, it was ironically fully assumed. And then we Slovenes were making joke at our own expense. And then when I meet a member of another Yugoslav nation, Montenegro, Serb, Bosnian, we were simply telling each other jokes about ourselves, mostly, as a kind of an exchange of solidarity. For example, we Slovenes were supposed to be misers, no? Thrifty, never spend money, no? And we had a whole series of jokes about ourselves. Then Bosnians are supposed to be cunning, but in this primitive way, like sexually obsessed, primitive, like farmers. Montenegro are lazy, absolutely lazy. And they have wonderful jokes about themselves, like to understand this one, you also must know that for Montenegro, Montenegro is an earthquake territory, really, no? So how does a Montenegro guy masturbate? He digs a hole in the earth, put penis into it, and waits for the earthquake, because he's too lazy to, and so on, no? Bosnians, they are the most sublime, and the golden era of these jokes, Bosnian jokes, was precisely the war, jokes about them. That's how they survived. For example, all you have to know here, I warn you, this one is a little bit vulgar, although not too much. It's still political. It's, you know Beethoven, and you know his extremely famous short piano piece, für Elise, for Eliza. You know, it's heard all around. No? Okay. It's not a good joke, but you will see the logic, so you don't have to laugh. It's that they even, what I like in this joke is that they make fun of this, you know, Western teachers who came there to enlighten them, made them more. So the joke is that at some high school they have a new teacher from the West who said, no longer this traditional drilling, a modern teacher, I will teach you in a creative way. So today it's Beethoven, and we'll do it creatively, not simply learn by heart, but each of you should tell me one idea, image, person, whatever, and then name a Beethoven composition that fits it. So first a girl stands up and said, Bambi, forest, stream, beautiful animals. What is? Pastoral Symphony, of course. Then a boy stands up, revolution, war, heroism, Napoleon, Eroica, Third Symphony. Then comes our Bosnian guy and says, warn you, sorry, now it's vulgarity, a prick, hard, like this, big. And then, what? For whom is this? You got it. For Eliza, and so on. I mean, it's so vulgar, you know. But, I mean, this was solidarity. It worked. And now we will give you a proof. When ethnic tensions really started, in the beginning of 80s somewhere, these jokes disappeared. Only now they are slowly re-emerging. You see, so the lesson is that, my God, you never know, how should I put it, you know. On the one hand, of course one should be against racist jokes. All I claim is that, you know, there is a way to appropriate them, especially if you include yourself into them, where they can function in a very liberating way. And not only in a liberating way of this, how should I put it, to let the steam off, manipulated by power. The reason I also like jokes is there are, for me, a wonderful example of this anonymous creativity of what Lacan calls the big other. What do I mean by this? Did you notice how jokes are, on the one hand, a moment of creativity? No? They are, by definition, the creative moment of language. But at the same time, somehow, you are not supposed to invent a joke. Jokes are, by definition, told. They are just here. It would sound strange. It would say, now I invented a good joke. It doesn't function. It's always, did you hear that joke? They must emerge from nowhere. Which is why my favorite paranoiac theory is, again, I think it's again Isaac Asimov, an old story by him, Jokester, where it's about a group of anthropologists who try to test the theory that the way God humanized us people is to tell us the first joke. Before we were just speaking in this stupid animal language. Stupid, by stupid I mean denotative, like, you know, those bees who dance 3 times up and down and can signal you there is honey there and so on. But not spirit, and that God told us a primordial joke. And then the story is that they try to reconstruct this primordial joke, as it were, no? I don't think he has a good version, because I tend to agree this, and they didn't know what is this joke. The joke is don't eat from the tree of knowledge, no, which is obviously a joke, I claim, no, and so on, no. But, so again, I'm sad that we don't have more time, because I think that the quality of political jokes is one of the few redeeming things for me of my old real socialist experience. There are Russian, there are, maybe you know, East Germans had incredible jokes. Sorry, I talked too much. There was another one, I think. Yes.
Just on this theme, have you seen Borat?
This is a difficult question. You know why? Because I haven't yet seen it, and I cannot decide, like, where to put it on this between the two.
Maybe in terms of beliefs, like playing with people's beliefs. It seems like he has 3 characters. Like Borat is one, and then he's got Ali G, and then he's got the other guy, the gay guy who like goes around in the South. And do you think that these different characters are like this? Because I think each character is doing the same thing, but just in different situations and with different people.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
I don't know. I haven't yet seen the film. That's the problem.
But even like you've seen a little Ali G, or I guess just or the idea overall is just if you kind of portray, you create a social situation in which you're
Well, okay, all I can tell you is that there are arguments which speak for the film.